Guys, djkinetic here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to recreate the Play Store style that I posted a few days ago. Gotten a few requests for it, so here it goes. I have it running on my HTC One and my Galaxy S4. The One has it is running it on a light background. The Galaxy S4 is running it on a dark background. It can also be run with a live wallpaper. The nice thing about it is it's really flexible. It looks great on any background basically, and you can customize it to however you wish. First things you're going to want to do, as we get started here, is you're going to want to download the zip file, which contains everything that you need to set up the style. And once you do that, you're going to want to extract it with the file browser or file explorer of your choice. I have Root Explorer open. It's going to extract in the folder that it gets extracted to. You're going to see these .zw with extension files. You're going to want to copy everything that gets extracted except for the wallpaper PNG and the icons. You're going to want to go into your file browser here, and you're going to want to copy it into this folder here called Super Widget. If it's not there, just create it and then create the folder templates, copy it in to here. Speaking of which, the apps that we're going to be using and the widgets that we're going to be using to create this screen are as follows. If I pull up my Evernote, here we go. For the launcher, you're going to use a gridless launcher. I recommend a gridless launcher such as SS Launcher. You can use Lightning Launcher. I don't recommend Nova or Apex because they are grid bound, and you're going to run into a lot of issues with the spacing and the alignment. SS Launcher and Lightning Launcher are gridless. It makes it a lot easier to align properly. Most of the widgets are going to be Super widgets, so you're going to want to download Super Widget Pro. There's one UCCW widget which you're going to want to download. You're going to want to download folder organizer, or you can use semi-folder, whichever one you want, just to create the folder categories that you're going to be setting up on one of the widgets. Any newsreader widget of your choice you can use. I use Simple RSS widget. For the music playback widgets, you're going to want a combination of media utilities and phantom music control. So once you got those installed, we're going to start with SS Launcher. You're going to pull up the settings via the menu here on the first home screen. Initially, it's going to have the default setup for SS Launcher. You're going to want to get rid of all those screens except for the applications one, which is right here. You're going to want to create 4 new pages: home, dates, apps, music. You want to label them. Just to create them, just hit new page. And then once you do that, you're going to want to click on theme, and you're going to want to hide the label, which is right here. Scroll all the way down, make sure that's checked. Hide label is checked, and you're going to hit apply changes. Then you're going to go back. Then you're going to want to hit preferences. You're going to want to make sure it's full screen. That hides the notification bar. You want to hide the dock bar. You might want to use swipe down to be able to access your notifications. Use back menu. Use back from menu if you want. You can do that, or you can uncheck it. Doesn't really matter. Everything else is unchecked. Once you got that basic setup, then you can start adding the widgets. The first widget we're going to add is the top widget, which is your main navigation, main way to navigate through the screens. You're going to be adding 4 of them, 1 on each screen. So I'm going to show you how to do the first one here. I'm not going to show you how to do all of them because it's the same process for each of them, but in order to do that, I'm going to go to your widget, Super Widget Pro. I chose to use a 4x4. Doesn't matter because you're going to resize it anyway. So what you're going to do is you're going to move it about right here, and then you're going to want to pull it up a bit. resize it so it fills a good portion of the screen. You can use this little arrow here to fine tune it, which is nice. Let's see. And if you want, you can also click on the middle to move it around if you want to fine tune the alignment a bit. So, see right here. Now, when you start adding your widgets, you're going to see that things might not scale exactly right. Don't worry, that can easily be fixed. I'm going to show you how. So we're going to tap that. It brings up the main Zuper interface or configuration page. You're going to want to slide over to your SD card. Now, if you've been following, you've already copied over those .zw configuration files into the correct folder. And it's going to, it's going to list all of them. What you're going to want for this first home screen is you're going to want to use the play home one. So you're going to click on that. And it's going to load, take a few seconds. And like I said, you're going to want to do this for each of them. So on the dates page, you're going to want play dates. In the apps page, you're going to want to hit play apps. And on the music page, play music. Now, this is what it's going to look like once it finally loads. If you want to scale the widget smaller, you go scroll down. You're going to go to scaling, and and you can see you can make it smaller. If you want, you can make it bigger. If you want, you can click the second one to make it a little bit faster. What you want to do is you want it to be as big as possible, but not too big to where it starts to cut off. So I have that set 150 right now. That might be a bit too big. So let's just resize it a little bit. Alright, that looks good. So it's pretty much edge to edge, but it doesn't, it doesn't cut off. So once you get that, you're gonna hit back or home, doesn't matter. And now it's gonna pop that up. Alright. So what you want to do is, depending on how you like your spacing, I'll leave it up to you guys to figure out what you want to do. I like to have mine pretty close to the top. So I just got to drag it up a little bit. And this is the nice thing about the gridless launcher, is that it allows you to do that. With Nova, you really can't do that. Apex, same thing. Once you got that set up, you want to start setting up your shortcuts. So you tap on the Zuper widget again. You want to click into layout. Now you're going to want to look for these fields called RECT, standing for rectangle. You're going to want to look for the ones that are about width of 168, height 45 for these. You'll know if it's the right one because they're color coded. So what you're going to want to do is, on the home one, obviously, you're going to want to, when you click on it, you're going to want to you're going to want it to take you back to the first page. So you click on widget on tap action, module on tap. You click that. Scroll all the way over to the shortcuts. Scroll down. Look for the page section from SS Launcher or Lightning Launcher. And then you're going to want to select, the corresponding page. So for home, obviously home. Go back. You're going to go to the next one, which is the dates one. You're going to want to do the same thing. Show it to you real quick. Let's see. You can go there. Click that. Boom. Alright. You want to do it for each of them. If you want to edit the labels, you can do so. Layout. Scroll down till you see rich text. Notice you home for home, dates and news for dates, music and media, apps. Like I said, it's fully customizable. You do it whatever you want. You can have it shortcut to whatever you want, as long as the widget supports it. Once you got those set up, test it out real quick. Boom. So you click, it goes to the next page. The next widget on the first home screen you want to do set up is the one showing the clock and the battery. Again, same thing. A Zuper widget, 4x4 works initially. You're gonna want to scale it. I'm sorry, I can't. Whatever. Can't select it for some reason, but there you go. Grid lines. Now, SS Launcher doesn't really work on a fixed grid line setup, but it does offer a nice little feature where it snaps or gives you these nice little snap points or snap lines so that you can align them correctly, like center. There's also an edge-to-edge one if you like. There's an edge-to-edge one when you get to it. I might have it a little bit too far out, so it might not be visible, but you can align it via center, like that. Once you got that set up, tap it again. You're going to find the corresponding widget. For this, it's play clock info. Load that up. Wait for that to load. I'm doing this on my Nexus 4, but like I said, it fits for any home screen. Doesn't matter the density, doesn't matter the size, because you can scale it. That is the beauty of Zooper and SS Launcher. So again, it's looking a little small, so what you want to do is scale it up a little bit, or if you like it small, you can keep it that way. It's up to you. One more, a little bit more. Yeah, it looks about too much. That's about right. Go back again. Voila. So, and you're gonna notice it's a little bit lower than I would like. So what we're gonna do is gonna move it up a little bit. And don't worry. You can also, if you're worried about the widgets overlapping, getting in the way, you can set it to where which widget you want to be front and which one you want to be, or which one you want to be in the foreground and which one you want to be in the background. For this one, I want the top one to be in the front. Let's see. The next one we're gonna do is the weather widget. It's also a 4x4. Now I'm running out of screen space on this Nexus 4. My screen density is a bit lower than my HTC One. That's not really an issue, because actually you can have SS Launcher scroll. I will show you in a minute. But if you just want it not to scroll, then you can obviously scale the widgets down so they're smaller. And this one is the Play Weather widget. And for some reason, my weather forecast is not quite right. Let me see if I can fix that for you guys. Let's go into the global preferences here. There we go. It just updated. Okay, so is this working? But if you want to change your units and stuff, you can go into global preferences in Zooper widget. You can change the refresh interval, all sorts of stuff for this particular widget. Location, you can change the location if you want. Again, if you want to set up a shortcut to like your weather app, you can hit the widget on tap and then select from this list here. So anyway, I'm going to go back here. Notice it's a little small. I don't really like it that small, but if you want it to fit, if your screen density isn't default, it might be beneficial for you to turn down the scaling of the widgets just to fit it on one screen if that's what you want. But like I said, you could also have it scroll, and I'll show you that in a minute. Looks right. Alright, so that looks good. So it's going to resize. Takes a few seconds, but anyway. So now you notice we have quite a small space to put our next widget on the screen. With Apex or Nova, you'd be kind of screwed. But here with Lightning or SS, you can actually scroll, which is really nice. So what I want to do is I want to put that widget down there. Voila, Oh, sorry, accidentally moved that. That happens every now and then. Oops. Alright, so here we go. Move this up a little bit. Alright, yeah, it looks okay. Doesn't need to be perfect for this video because you guys will get the point. But here we go. We're gonna do this. Gonna extend that out a little bit, and extend this out. Alright, so once we have that, hit back, tap on the widget again, import the widget. For this one, it's going to be the notifications one, aptly labeled. Put that up here, let that load. Again, this widget is pretty much set up. Again, you can go into each of these rectangles and set up the different hotspots or the zones. The way to do that is, again, you're going to look for a rectangle. It's about width 100, height 120. If you want to change the icons, you can also do so. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But anyway, again, here, module on tap, app list. We're going to do this one since it's the phone one. We're going to have it go to our phone. Alright, so there you go. If you want to change the icon, look for a field called bitmap. Bitmap, then bitmap again, and then you go through your pictures and, you know, choose whichever icon you want. For me, it's going to be the same. Now you're going to notice that the Gmail counter is not there. That's because Super Widget actually, unfortunately, does not yet. I say yet because I'm going to assume it's going to be added sometime in the future, but it does not, as of yet, support the counter for Gmail. So you're going to have to add that in via the UCCW widget, which I'm going to show you real easy how to do it. I'm going to show you how to do it in a minute. Assuming that this will scale. Well, I didn't scale it. Okay. Well, it doesn't really matter, but because I'm kind of a perfectionist when it comes to my screens. Alright, there we go. So basically, we've almost got the first screen set up. It's going to take you a bit longer to do because you're going to be playing around sometimes with the dimensions and that stuff. If you ever need to individually resize a particular element in the widget, and show you real quick. Let's say you want to resize this rectangle here. It's a little too big or it's a little too small. You're going to select the rectangle field, and you're going to want to change either the width here or the height field. If you want to change the positioning of it, you need to change either the X offset or the Y offset. For the most part, you shouldn't have to change the positioning. You may have to change the size a little bit depending on your screen density. But for the most part, you can get away with it by just using this basic scaling function. So that's that. We want to create the UCCW widget. We really don't have space on the first page, but we can scroll over to the second page. Hit new widget real quick. Go to UCCW. One by one works pretty well. We're gonna hit a new UCCW. Click this, touch here. We want the background. Oops, close. We want the background to be transparent. We don't want a background. So we're gonna hit alpha. And then we're gonna drag the slider all the way back. You hit the plus sign. You're gonna go and find the Gmail section. All right, we have Gmail 1. That's set. Go back in, select Gmail, and then hit the account. That's my account. Label, hit inbox, boom. Then you're gonna want to change the color and the size to match or get as close as possible to the widget counters on the other sections. I find that a 22 size one worked pretty well on my one. I'm not sure if it's too big or too small on my Nexus. The color is kind of a darkish gray, so we're going to select that. Alright. Then we're going to lastly hit hotspot. No hotspot's been assigned. We're going to hit app. And we want it to take us to a Gmail or your email client of your choice. It doesn't matter. Going to want to create the hotspot here. So, boom, 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 boom. I think a 50. Yeah, 50 works well for that. For the width, oops. You don't want too big, so 50 by 50. We'll make it a square. All right. Oh, then we got to position it again. All right, that works. All right, so we're gonna want to save that. You can save the skin. Doesn't matter. Oh, I guess saying it's not allowed. So we'll just type in email. All right. So that works. Now it's on the second page. You're going to drag it to the edge and drag it down a little bit. Scroll down to see. Alright, so you want it about center with the other widgets. Well, it's not exactly the same as those count as the whatever it is. That's pretty simple to fix. Just select that. Make sure your hotspots is not selected in UCCW when you do that. We're going to select this again, the Gmail one. And we're going to size it a little bit smaller. Maybe an 18, right? That might work out. And that looks a little bit better. Looks like we need to move it up a little bit. Alright, that works. So now, what you want to do is click that again, and you want to lock it. Okay, on. Now, when you hit that, it takes you to Gmail. Alright, so basically, that is it for the first screen, assuming you've set up all your shortcuts. We're going to move on to the second one. Again, you're going to want to open up Zipper Widget Pro. You're going to want to set up the top bar again. I'm going to do this real quickly. I'm not going to bother with the scaling. You guys can do that on your own devices. I don't want to make this video too long. We're going to choose play dates. The second widget is going to be play calendar. Alright. You notice it's kind of cut off. Well, that's because we haven't resized the widget. So, what do? We resize it a little bit. Bam, bam. You'd be like, oh no, you're going to be like at first, it's not scaling. Oh my god, what are we going to do? That's not a problem. Just wait. So we get this all set up. Move that up a little bit. Okay, click it. And it should. There you go. Alright. Alright, so there we go. Scale it up a little bit again. And voila. Wait for it to finish scaling. I don't really need to wait for it. It'll do it. Trust me, it'll do it. So here we go. We're going to do the second one. Oh, there you see it scaled. I just got to position it right. Can't quite get it there. That's why I love the fine tuning. Alright, so second widget up. We're going to do, like I said, play calendar, and it's going to, you might get that warning. It's just because the grid or the widget that you have on screen is smaller than the actual widget size. Again, you're going to move it and scale it to however you wish. Just make sure you... Alright. looks about right. So scale that, click it, and notice it scales. Go back home. Then you're going to want to add your news widget. So new widget. I use simple RSS, which is right here. I have no background, and no images. So we're going to drag that slider all the way over. Drag this all the way back. That makes the icons transparent. Then click on home. And well, sometimes that widget doesn't pop up. So you might have to redo it. I don't know, it's a little bug. It happens occasionally. Nothing severe, but it does happen. No images. And again, you can change the font size here if you like as well. Alright, so hopefully it should work. And I don't know why it's not working. Let's try to give this a go again. Don't know why it's not working. Alright, well, manage RSS, yep. Let's try, okay, there we go. You'll notice again, that it has this background. I don't want that background. So what we do is, after we've gotten it right, looks about right, click the wrench and we can change it. Again, I don't have any images. Alright, that works. And that should fix itself eventually. There we go. And so basically, it's now set up. This little newsreader widget's being finicky today. So. Alright, there. Now, for your calendar or any other rectangles, if again you need to resize them in case you forgot, you just go into the rectangular field and then you choose widget or height. You might need to resize them I mean, it's not usually necessary, but sometimes it is. So that's the second screen. That's all done. Third screen. Third screen again. We're gonna do the same thing. And then for this one, there is also a bottom widget for your shortcuts, which again is customizable. That's again a Zuper widget, and again you want a 4x4. So we have that set up. I'm gonna set up the first top and the top and the bottom one first. This one is play apps, so we're gonna select that. The bottom one is play bottom, I believe, if I remember right. Play apps bottom, sorry. And once you do that, that should set up. My phone's being slow. Occasionally, Zooper does that when it's initially setting up. The middle widget, there we go. The middle widget is named Play Apps Description. I just want to align that just right. This seems to be a case of where I might need to resize it for you guys. See if I can get back into this widget here. Yeah, it's a little bit cut off. I may be able to change the scaling so I don't need to resize it. First, yeah, there we go. Alright, there we go. It's a little bit smaller, but if you really want to, you could change it if you want. You can change it if you like to fit better. But for time purposes, I am not going to do that because it involves doing each individual one. So this one, I'll scale up a little bit. And essentially, it'll look something like this. Alright, so once you have that set up, you're going to want to go in through clicking through each of these rectangle fields in the Zooper widget dialog, and you're going to want to set up your folder shortcuts. For those of you who are going to be using folder organizer, I'm going to show you real quick if you're not familiar with it. Folder organizer, you can group your apps, all your apps, it'll populate into specific categories. So let's say for internet, I want Chrome to be added to internet. And let me see what other app. Now let's add Facebook to internet as well. So for when you go into Zooper, for the internet one, you're going to want to go to layout. And then you're going to want to go to the word that says, or the one that says web and social media. Module on tap. Go all the way to shortcuts, folder link, and then hit internet. Go back out. It should update in a minute since it's running kind of slow. We'll come back to that. You don't want to do it for each of them. Having some issues there. Let me see that again. Let me try to see if I can misconfigure that for you guys. Oops. Nope, looks like I configured it correctly. There we go. This took a while to update. So you click on web and social media, and it works. Yeah, there we go. You could also have it set to the individual rectangle. That might be easier. But on to the next one. So we're going to do the same process. By now you guys know how to create the Zuper one. It's music, so I'm just going to show you how to create the music playing widget. And I chose to use a 2x2 with just the artwork. Selected the wrong one. So you're going to want media utilities for this. So you're going to want media utilities 2x2. There we go. I don't have anything playing, so I don't have an artwork in the background. Let me fire up my Google Play Music and play something. Alright. Doesn't really matter what I play, but just play Treasure here.
Baby squirrel, use a sexy motherfucker.
So,
Give me your attention, baby. Gotta tell you a little something about yourself. You're wonderful, flawless, ooh, you a sexy lady. But you walk around here like you wanna be someone else.
and music.
I know that you don't know it, but you're fine, so fine. Fine, so fine.
Alright. Apparently I do not have Phantom Music widget installed, so I have to install that. So install, yes, go back, and I have the Pro version. You don't need the Pro version, but I have the Pro version, and let's see, it just gives you a little bit more control over the widget itself. Not really a big deal because you're not really going to be using it for much. You're just going to be using it to display the song title and artist, which you actually can do with media utilities as well, but media utilities, the text isn't really as customizable. Or I didn't really like the way it looked overall. So, all right, there it is, Phantom Music Control. And what you're going to want to do is select Google Play Music. You want to uncheck that. You're going to want to check hide control, allow third party. You're going to want a standard white on black. I'm sorry. For a light background, you're going to want black on white, and you're going to want no background. So, and it should load that. So I'm going to play real quick. It should update as so. And again, align them, and then now you're going to want to create the media buttons, and you do that through SS Launcher. You're going to click New Shortcut, and click on the type, and you're going to click Others. You're going to hit Target, and you're going to scroll down to Media Utilities. The first one you're going to want to do is Play Pause. You want to select the style. You want to select the icon with no background. Choose the icon, or you can have the default icon. It's up to you. If you choose to use a custom icon, you're going to want to hit import. Go to wherever your icon is. For me, it's here. Select. And voila. So, I'm going to use that one. Use that one. And you just position it. It has to play pause. And then you want to add the next two. Oops, sorry, wrong one. Pretty simple. Same procedure. And previous. Then you want to hit apply twice there. Again, position it, and you can do the same for the next one. The final widget you're going to want to add. I'm not going to add that last play button because you can probably figure out how to do it by now. And again, the last one, another 4x4. Size it, whatever. It's going to be play music bottom, and again, you can customize the shortcut if you like. Once you're done, it should end up like my HTC One, which I'm going to show you right now. You get to see how it works. So. But basically that's how this navigation, as you can see. If I click on that, it pulls up my music. If I go back to apps, click that, it pulls up the drawer. Pulling down shows shortcuts. Oops, that's clicking on the calendar, it pulls up my calendar, and etc. Oops, sorry, etc. So that's basically it. If you guys have any other questions, just shoot me a message on XDA or my color. And yep, hope you enjoy it. See you guys.